then you can go ahead and start. I'll cut off my mic and you can go ahead and start.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Benjamin Ho, Deputy Procurement Officer for Shared Administrative Services and IT. I will walk you through today on the benefits of registering for the eProcurement system for the City of Chicago. This will give you access to the online bidding of our bid opportunities, and we'll walk through how you would do this so that you can pursue business opportunities with the City of Chicago. So we're going to go through, an overview of what is eProcurement, how you access the iSupplier portal and online bidding, which is the key for you to get online, how to register, how to view bids and solicitations, how to respond to them, and then we'll open it up for questions at the end. So we'll start with the mission of Department of Procurement Services. We are the contracting authority for procurement of goods and services for the City of Chicago. We work together as a team and care with our customers to guarantee an open, fair, and timely process by establishing, communicating, and enforcing superior business practices. So you will be working with us when there are goods and services that need to be procured by the City of Chicago. So eProcurement has been around since 2017, and it allows the use of web technology for the acquisition of goods and services. The iSupplier portal, which we'll be showing you, is a full-service resource for vendors such as yourself to do business with the City of Chicago. At this time, all bids, RFPs, and RFQs are electronic and available through eProcurement. There are no paper bids anymore with the city. And in order to utilize the system, you must be a registered vendor to access the iSupplier portal. And once you have access, you'll be able to do things such as view and respond to bids and solicitations online. You'll be able to view your orders, your payments, and invoices, past and present, and you'll be able to submit updates to your company information, your contacts, address, phone, and email. And we have an extensive help available for you, which is available on the iSupplier website, and that website is available at chicago.gov/eProcurement. So one of the things that we want to assure all of our vendors is that we take security very seriously, and your information is fully secure. It's encrypted using the HTTPS protocol for secure communication, and your bid solicitations are not visible to employees or other vendors prior to bid opening. So your bidding using eProcurement is secure. All right, now we get to how you work with the system if you are first time. You do need to register for an account in existing vendors with a city vendor number. So if you have done business with us previously, the way you do this is you would click to request an iSupplier invitation, and this directs your request to customer support, who will create a iSupplier account for you. If you are a new vendor, never done business with us, and you don't have a city vendor number, you want to click on the new vendor registration button. At the time of new vendor registration, you do need several pieces of information. So please go ahead and prepare these before registering. We will need your W-9 with your federal employee information, and I'm sorry, federal employer identification number, otherwise known as the tax ID, we'll need that attached as a PDF. If you don't attach this, your registration request will be returned. And this W-9 should contain the legal business name of your company. Otherwise, your registration will be returned as well. So this is what the iSupplier site looks like. When you go to the chicago.gov/eProcurement, it will take you to the iSupplier portal. The iSupplier portal has many different resources available to you, of which we're going to walk through these for you today. So existing vendor registration, if you click in to log in registration, you're going to come here, existing vendors. You would click this orange button down here. And it's worth discussing that if you've never done business with the city, if you have done business with the city of Chicago, Chicago City Colleges or Housing Authority or the Park District or the schools, that's not considered doing business with the city of Chicago. Those are what we call sister agencies. And so if you sell things already to the Park District or the schools, you still may not have a City of Chicago vendor number. So very important to understand. Just because you've done business with any of these entities listed here on the screen, including the PBC, Metropolitan Pier and Exposition Authority, or even Cook County, none of this makes you a City of Chicago vendor. So you would not register here. You would use the new vendor registration. And here again, we need your full name, email address, phone number, and your tax ID number with the PDF W-9. So, new vendor registration. If you have never done business with the city, then you can use this button. Once you have registered, then you can come to current bid and solicitation opportunities. So this is an orange button here. And this will show you all the current bid opportunities that are available with the city of Chicago. And when you click through there, you're going to come to this link. There is a downloadable bid opportunity list, which is available on a weekly basis, every Monday or Tuesday if it's a city holiday on a Monday. This list is updated early in the morning, or I should say by noon time, and then you'll have this to refer to. This is also available on the DPS alerts. If you sign up, you'll be emailed this list every week. And there are e-procurement bid opportunities. Paper bid opportunities are no longer available. However, there are occasionally opportunities that are put out by other departments that have independent contracting authority. There are not many of those, but for things such as energy and some others, we are occasionally given courtesy notification that those departments are going out to bid. These would be listed under paper bid opportunities. They're not paper in the sense of they're PDF electronic, but you don't respond to those through eProcurement. Those would be available here as well. All right, so this is a view of the main DPS website. If you go to chicago.gov/DPS, you can see our homepage. This is another useful resource for you as a vendor. The bid opportunities that I mentioned to you previous are here. You can search for awarded contracts. You can look at the certification directory for minority and women vendors. that site, by the way, also takes you to the Office of Contracting Equity website, so you can learn much more about certification and compliance from this website. And then we'll go back to the iSupplier portal, which you can also access from the main homepage. And this will now be how you would go view the solicitation opportunities. When you click that orange button, this takes you to what's called the abstract page. The abstract page will show you everything that's active for bidders to reply to. So here you want to notice that on the left, there's department name, which shows you what is the department, the city department that's looking for these goods or services. Event is misnamed, but it will show you what kind of purchase this is. Is this for commodities, construction, delegate agencies? So delegate agencies would be for social services, and those are actually not bid by Department of Procurement Services, but a multitude of different departments such as Family and Support Services, Cultural Affairs and Special Events, etc. Program model is useful if you are bidding on a delegate agency contract. Solicitation number is also known as RFQ number. It is a way of identifying within the eProcurement system what it is you're exactly bidding on. The specification number is next. Solicitation title tells you what the description of the requested goods and services is. Advertisement date. This is when the bid is first advertised in the Chicago Tribune. That same date is when responses can start, and all responses are due by the bid opening date. So the supplier response due date is the time when you must have your bid in for it to be considered by procurement services. Protected markets will tell you whether this is a target market or a solicitation that's limited to small businesses, SBI, or there's also MBI. These would be indicated here. Deadline for questions. If there is one of these, then you need to submit your your questions about the specification to procurement services per the instructions in the bid document by that date and time. Details we're going to see shortly. Oops. So when you click on details, you're going to see this page here. And basically, this will give you the status, which is active. Document is very important. It will say PDF file. That's what you want to click on to actually view the solicitation and see whether it's something interesting to you. This section here repeats the information that you saw on the previous page, but it also provides information about the pre-submission, pre-solicitation meeting. So this is where questions can be answered that you might have, and also you'll hear a presentation by the user department that can delve further into notable information about the bid or RFP that you're responding to. And this last third of the screen gives you a picture of what the title page of PDF specification will look like. So you can see that it was a solicitation number, and that will that's that RFQ number I was mentioning. It will give you a a description here, and the spec number, what department's using it, the submittal time and date, etc. Okay, so in order to actually get into the system after you see something that you're interested in on the abstract page, you need to log in. So you will have had to register by now, and then upon registration, you will receive a username and password. And the password is temporary. So the first time you come in, you enter your username and the temporary password. You will be directed to select a permanent password. Upon doing so, please click the login button. After that, it will take you to this page in the middle third. It will say Oracle Applications homepage. You'll see City of Chicago iSupplier portal with invoice creation. That would be the standard access level for vendors. And you'll see that there's City of Chicago online bidding, and there are some others as well, but this is what we'll focus on today. And the work list, you'll say no notifications will be your first time. Once you start to bid on things, you'll see items that will begin to populate the work list. And then you can see that if you click into online bidding, I'm sorry. If you click into not online bidding, but admin, this is where you could change information about your company. This is where you would update the contact information for your company. Okay. And here you see the similar information, but if you're actually bidding, I had shown you the admin screen for changing contact information. This is the actual screen to, if you are interested in bidding, you'll come to what's called the negotiations tab, and this will show, you'll be able to search for the one that you want to open. So when you look at the abstract, you want to record the solicitation or RFQ number, and you'll have to type it into, it says search open solicitations title and number. You can use either the spec number, which is under title, or you can use the RFQ number to look for these bids, and you'll be doing it in this screen. Okay, so once you get in, you're going to see a bunch of lingo. We want you to understand what that is. We're going to go through that now. The response number is the number that you're going to receive when a solicitation has been saved. It's your number for your bid. You definitely want to write it down and make a note of it. You will also see response status, which can be one of things. It can be for an active bid, you'll see that active is the status you want. Draft is not where you want to be when at the time you are submitting. Draft means you're just working on it, and it won't actually be seen by the city if it's still draft at the time of bid opening. Resubmission required. Something very important to note is that when addendums are issued, the system will require that you acknowledge these addenda. If you do not, your bid, which was perfectly fine when you submitted it, it will be not in active status, but it will be in resubmission required status. And this bid will not then be counted with the bids that were submitted. So very, very important. Just because you submit doesn't mean you can walk away. You need to check the system and see that there are no additional addenda that have come out. Supplier site is not used by us. Solicitation number. We talked about title will have the specification number at the beginning, followed by the colon, followed by the subject. So you can, if you want to have the spec number, you can put that into the title field. Here it says number, but if it's changed to title, you can use that to search for a specification as well. So type, everything is an RFQ. Time left is how many days, minutes, and hours left before the bid opening. And you will see that the number of responses that the system has accepted is listed here. So here, 6443, bridge and viaduct painting has 4 responses. Monitor means you can see what else is happening with the RFQ. Unread messages, which you won't be generally seeing that from here. All right, so responding to a solicitation, as I mentioned, there is a drop-down menu. You can select title or number. These other ones are not used for content, category, line, and event. Number is the RFQ number, and title is the specification number. These are the primary methods for you to pull up the RFQ of your interest. Once you enter that number, let's say it's 8332, and you hit go, you're going to see 8332 show up. You need to click that little checkbox and click respond. What that does is take you into the solicitation. You'll be presented with the terms and conditions acknowledgement. You do need to acknowledge that. And then click accept. Once you do that, your firm will be added to the takeout list so that you will get notifications of addenda or other developments with regards to your solicitation. If the procurement specialist is sending out clarifications or list of pre-submittal attendees, you'll be receiving those provided that you're on the takeout list. And then when you come in to the solicitation, you come to what's called the header tab page. You see that there's header and then there's lines. So you first start at the header section. You will see that there's a place for attachments. We won't worry about them just yet. And there's a place called requirements. So requirements is a section that is kind of named funny, but provides a mixture of information for you, the vendor, and information that you need to provide the city. So under here, you have requirements, fund number, blah, 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 DPS units, commodities, drawings 1. So this gives you basic information about the contract that you're bidding on. It's a 60-month. There is a pre-submittal. And then there's a checklist down here of different things. So here, you want to indicate yes or no for everything in this checklist. The system does not validate that, but it's for you and your convenience to make sure you don't miss any required documents that are needed to submit a responsive bidder. So here, proposal page completed, signed, and notarized. You will need to do that. And if you say yes, then you're telling it's a convenience for you. If you said yes, but you didn't include it, your bid would be non-responsive nonetheless, because we don't go by this. This is again purely for your convenience. We actually go through, can we find your proposal page? And if you need to, well, to upload things, and virtually all bids require an upload. Um, hold on, please. Um, she should be on. She's finding this. Pardon the delay. When you come to this section of attachments, this is where you upload all those items that are mentioned within the requirement section. So you can do multiple attachments, and the attachments can be up to 100 megs. And you can have an unlimited number of them. So you can upload the attachment by clicking the Add Attachment button, which is going to show you this menu. The attachment needs to be of type file, and then you can give it a name, and then you're going to click Browse to select the file that you want to upload, and then you'll go ahead and click Save, and this will let you attach the file. Once you're done with the attachments, if you are doing a bid as opposed to an RFP or RFQ, you will come to the Lines tab. The lines will let you enter your pricing. And you will notice the unit of measure here, in which case is each. And then you would enter the quote price, and the system will automatically calculate your bid total. Now, in the case of RFPs and Qs, there will be one dummy line. And in that case, you would want to put in 0.01 or $1. It doesn't really matter. Follow the instructions that they give you that regard, but the system needs to have a number, but your pricing will not be calculated based on that number, because the RFPs and Qs will have a separate spreadsheet where you will be submitting pricing. This pricing screen here is for bids only. And you want to save and save often, because if you get disconnected from the internet for whatever reason, whether it's on the city side or your side, you don't want to lose your work. So save, and then you'll see this confirmation that the quote has been saved as a draft. There are important items to note. So you must submit all bids and RFPs and Qs that go through procurement services through the eProcurement system. Paper responses are not allowed, neither are PDF responses that are not submitted through eProcurement. But if you are bidding on something that is a non-DPS contract, those that don't utilize the eProcurement system, you will have to respond per their instructions. And it's important, as I mentioned earlier, to acknowledge any addenda in the system. And some solicitations have PDF acknowledgement forms as well, and so you need to do it in both places. Responses. You want to fill out the PDF forms, scan and upload them as attachments. And we talked about filling in the total price on the lines provided in the lines tab. Submit detailed pricing on sheets provided if you're doing RFPs or queues. And for RFPs, I mentioned you should enter 0.01 on the line and enter pricing on the sheets provided. In the case where bids are requesting bids by group, where these groups can be bid on one or more. You can enter a no bid for a group by entering 9 zeros and a 1 for all lines in the group. The reason why we're asking you to enter that such a small number, but it's not 0. If you enter 0, it's not going to take it. If you enter something close to 0, then it will take it. And this makes it close enough to 0 that you can zero out, regardless of what the quantity is, it's going to be still under a penny, so you will not have any bid for that group. If you need any assistance, you can contact the eProcurement Help Desk at 312-744-HELP or by email at customersupport@cityofchicago.org. There's also capability in the system to engage in online discussions with the DPS procurement specialist. The online discussion feature is like an internal email for eProcurement and allows you to ask questions, for example, for the pre-bid conference. And these questions will be either answered at the conference or there will be a clarification or addendum issue. So you can communicate through the online discussions to ask those questions. And when you click on that, it will take you to this new message section, which will allow you to send that online discussion message to your procurement specialist. Now, one thing that I mentioned earlier is important is acknowledging addenda. So if you see an email come and it says you need to acknowledge an addendum, you need to go into the system and click here. The system calls them amendments. I mean, as you City of Chicago vendors are used to calling them addendums. They're the same thing as far as we're concerned. You do need to acknowledge this in order for your bid not to be put back in requires resubmission status, which basically means your bid won't be counted unless you come back and acknowledge. Once you have submitted your bid, you want to make sure that the quote status of your bid is active, as I mentioned earlier. Next morning, you should receive a confirmation email at 7:30 a.m. After that, you must still check for addenda that may be issued. That might change your quote status back to the submission required. So very important to look for this confirmation of quote and also the any addendum that might follow. Now, as we go through other parts of the iSupplier portal, you'll see that at the top orange bar, you'll have home, login, registration, current bids. We've seen all those. There's also online training materials. So you can, we highly encourage this, look at these help videos to understand better the use of the iSupplier and eProcurement systems. There's information about registration and updating the vendor profile. There's information about how to submit bids. In the middle, there's information about how to view invoices, receipts, terms, payments, etc. And there's, if you are a delegate agency, there's additional delegate agency specific information also available for your perusal. If you need help, can take a look at materials we just overviewed. If you want to speak to somebody, you can call the help desk number that we told you about earlier. Their business hours are Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And the direct link to training materials is here. And finally, we reached the end of our presentation and can take questions at this time.
Thanks so much, Ben. And for all of you, I have put some information of where you can find some of these things that we mentioned, resources that you can take advantage of. And I just wanted to mention that there is a survey that you can put information that you would like to see in these workshops so that we are ensuring that we're giving you the information that you're looking for. With that said, I am going to open the floor up for questions and just trying to see if anyone has any. If you have a question, feel free to put it in the Q&A panel. And we can definitely make sure that we are answering the questions for you. If there are no questions, and I'm going to give you a few minutes to write if you have any questions, I would just say, Ben, thank you so much for imparting that great information off to us. And if you have any final words to say to sum up anything, or you want just to add a few more points, feel free to do that now, because I don't see any questions coming in. So you did an excellent job, as you always do, in giving that information, and they must have understood everything at this time. So if you want to say any final words, feel free to do so.
Well, we'd encourage anybody who is interested in doing business with the city to sign up for iSupplier ahead of time, so that when you see a bid opportunity that is of interest, then you can go right to bidding and not have to worry about the registration process. We do strongly encourage pre-registration for folks who are interested in doing business with the city. Thank you.
Great. All right. I don't see any questions. So I'm assuming everyone has the information they were looking for in today's workshop. Again, this recording will be posted on youtube.com/Chicago DPS, all one word. Again, that's Chicago DPS, Dog Pony Sam, all one word. And you can click on the 2024 DPS workshop playlist, and you will see all of these workshops. So thank you very much. Thank you, Benjamin Ho, for presenting the information today. And we say for all of you, be safe. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we look forward to seeing you at future workshops that we have. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.